when you sign a consent form and give a doctor permission to go ahead and perform surgery on you, is that consent form, is that a permission slip for the doctor to be careless? You want to know what this is about? Come join me on this walk as I share with you the answer to this question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. Some people think that when you give a doctor permission to go ahead and perform surgery on you, that you now give up all of your rights, that you now give up your right to do anything if you suffer an injury. And the fact is, you don't give up all your rights. What does it mean if you go ahead and sign a consent form? Well, what it means is that the doctor won't perform surgery if you don't sign that form. You know, the doctor says, okay, I've now told you about the surgery. I've told you about the benefits of going forward with surgery. Hopefully, he's told you about the risks and alternatives of having surgery. And now he says, listen, I simply need your signature here that allows me and gives me permission to go ahead and do surgery on you. Now, you should know that if you go into the hospital and you refuse to sign that form, guess what? You're not having the surgery. Your doctor will not perform surgery on you, and the hospital will not allow you to have the surgery if you don't sign that form. Some people think that that form is really a legal waiver, where you waive all of your rights in the event you suffer injury. And here's a little secret that most people don't tell you. It's not a waiver. It's not a permission slip for the doctor to be careless. It's not a permission slip for anybody in the hospital to be careless. Instead, it's simply a permission slip that allows the doctor to go ahead and perform the surgery that he is recommending. That permission slip, that informed consent form, is nothing more than a piece of paper that says, I agree to give this doctor permission to go ahead and perform this recommended surgery on me. In every single malpractice case, we argue that the doctor failed to give you proper informed consent so that you can make an educated decision about whether or not to have the surgery. The doctor always says that he tells you about the risks and the benefits and the alternatives of the procedure. The patient always turns around and says, no, the doctor didn't tell me about the risks, he didn't tell me about the benefits, or he didn't tell me about the alternatives. And because of that, I didn't have enough information to make an educated decision, because if he had told me all of the necessary information, there's no way I ever would have agreed to have this surgery. So now, let's go back to the question I raised in the title of this video. Does signing a permission slip to have the surgery mean that the doctor can be careless? No, that's not what it means. Nor is it a waiver that gives up your right to bring a lawsuit against the doctor if you've signed that form, because that is fact dependent. What does that mean? It now means we have to explore what the facts were about what the conversation was between you and the doctor, what the conversation was between what the doctor said to you and anybody else who was in the room. Only by learning about that information, about what was said and what wasn't said, can now we reach an understanding of whether or not the doctor truly gave you informed consent, so that now you can make an educated decision about whether or not this procedure was right for you. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you a sense of what really happens in these medical malpractice cases in New York. You know, I do understand you're watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York, and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. I hope you have a wonderful day.